This could be the fastest, best moving heavyweight fight that anybody's ever seen. We're both great movers, we're both light on our feet, we're both elusive. Both me and Cyril have niche style for heavyweights. We don't fight like heavyweights, both of us. So
Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What's the first step for him?
You give him the one contender, Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if Jon Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
I think you're absolutely right. Fight that makes sense. Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane. Let's make that happen. Cyril Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, Tommy, defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Cyril Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home, and so they oblige. And you'll recall a few weeks ago I said it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Cyril, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised, considering how the chips just fell earlier today. I would be surprised if it doesn't play out that.
The video highlights Aspinall's exceptional quickness, sharp execution, and smooth footwork, showing how effortlessly he moves in and out of striking distance. His fluid combinations resemble those of a much lighter fighter rather than someone in the heavyweight division. Because of this, Joe Rogan and many fans online believe that Gane may lack the necessary tools to handle that kind of pace and precision.
Here's a question with Aspinall. What happens with Aspinall in the second round? If you want to talk about a guy who sprints, if you want to talk about a guy who's fast, one of the fastest heavyweights, he might be the fate in the history of the sport. I don't think anybody moves like that guy does. He beat everybody else's ass too. All the other heavyweights, ragdoll dudes way bigger than him. He's just a freak, and he is again the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. I mean, he knocked out Sergey, who's the scariest striker in all of MMA, and he knocked him out in the first round.
Rogan has previously spoken highly of Aspinall, describing him as one of the most complete heavyweights in the sport's history. The recently released footage further supports that assessment.
The way he did it was just picture perfect. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem. At a 250 plus pound frame, his movement's extraordinary. And that's something you have to deal with. Like, that is a crazy ability. Like, his ability to move, like the way he moves, is so much different than everybody else in the sport. He moves like a 175 pounder. He doesn't move like a 250 pound guy. Look how quickly he closes the distance, man. His hand speed and full range of skills. Incredible stand up, knocks guys out with one punch, black belt in jiu-jitsu, really good wrestler. His everything, and he's young.
So what's your prediction if it happens?
It's hard to bet against Jon. It's hard to bet against Jon, but Jon's not a real heavyweight. Jon could make light heavyweight 100%. He weighs 230 right now, maybe a little less than 230. There's no doubt in my mind that if Jon just changed his diet and went back, he hasn't put that much
Jones Aspinall. Do you think Jones has been ducking him?
Yes. I don't like that word because I think it's disrespectful towards him, but I think he didn't want to fight him. Are you going to risk it all to fight this one guy who was really, really good and in my opinion would have given him a tough fight and probably would have beaten him?
Can you knock him for being calculated though?
I just wish it was handled differently. He gave the UFC a number. I believe it's in the $30 million range. He didn't think that they would come up with the number. And they did. And he said yes. And then 2 days later, he said, nah, on second thought, I'm out.
What?
And that's why when he announced his retirement, Dana said he gave me his word. And then he went back on his word.
One good thing to come out of this for Tom Aspinall, other than the heavyweight title, is kind of his aura now. When the greatest of all time won't even step in a cage with you, it builds up who you are, right? You have that fear factor. The guy who everyone was scared of is scared of him. How fucking good is Tom Aspinall? Very good is the answer. And it's funny because in all of the posturing that Jon did in the tweeting and the interviews, and I don't care, I don't want to fight him, he doesn't do anything for all of that coping that we witnessed, where he was trying to say everything he could to make himself feel better about not wanting to fight this guy and telling us all how unbothered he was in fighting Tom Aspinall, showed exactly how bothered he was. Because Jon Jones, like, you know, even though he thinks he's smart, he's a child, right? And he doesn't realize in all of that coping, we can read him like a fucking book. And all he's done is kind of promoted Tom Aspinall for an entire year.
The silent assassin of the heavyweight division.
Okay, well then why didn't he fight him? If Jon's not scared, and we believe that, and it wasn't about money, then how do we interpret the refusal of...
It's also important to remember the criticism surrounding Cyril Gane. Many fans have questioned his abilities ever since his quick defeat against Jon Jones, where he was taken down and submitted in just over 2 minutes. When you compare that to Aspinall's speed, strength, and formidable ground skills, it becomes easy to see why some believe this matchup could be heavily tilted in Aspinall's favor.
Aspinall will face Cyril Gane. Aspinall has 15 wins, and all of them are by finish. Gane is the #1 ranked heavyweight.
Now, when you look at the UFC heavyweight rankings, as I say, Tom has beat most of them, and he's beat them in style, and he's knocked them all out. Curtis Blade, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, whoever they are, he's beaten them all up. But Cyril Gane is a little bit different. Now, of course, Jon Jones beat Cyril Gane in quick fashion, took him down in the first round, submitted him with a front choke. But Cyril Gane is the same as Tom Aspinall in terms of athletic ability. When I say that Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight George St. Pierre, that kind of goes to Cyril Gane as well. The man's gigantic. He's very quick. He's agile. He's light on his feet. He could run any sport on the planet. And he's almost like George St. Pierre and Tom Aspinall in the fact that he's got all those athletic attributes and qualities, but he doesn't have the grappling. That's what cost him against Jon Jones. And that's probably what's going to cost him against Tom Aspinall. You never know. He could clip him. This is a dangerous fight. This is heavyweight MMA. But Tom Aspinall can grapple. We've seen him take people down. He's done jiu-jitsu since he was about 15 years old. His dad is going to be on his case, and that's an absolute fact, saying, hey, you're not messing with this guy. Take him down, show him what you can do, show the world your grappling capability. Remember, Cyril Gane turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler, okay? So he's a very, very credible threat on the feet. But of course, I do fancy Tom Aspinall to get the job done. The fact that he isn't fighting Jon Jones is insane, but we've talked about that till the cows come home, so I'm not going to bore you on that subject anymore.
Everything on the table, would you have rolled it for 30 million?
Yeah.
Bro, even if I wasn't a fighter for 30 million, I'd get my ass kicked for 30 million. Right, yo, okay.
And like I said, for 30 million, but I don't know how Jon Jones' body feels.
Finally, we're back after over a year hiatus. Cyril finally signed on the dotted line. This is the 4th time we've been matched up together. And now we are matched up for the 25th of October, Abu Dhabi. Me and Cyril. The 4th attempt is here, and this is Cyril's 3rd title shot. We are going to try and get rid of Cyril Gane from the title picture for good.
Many think Gane's best shot at winning is to keep the fight on the feet, land quick jabs, and hope he can outscore Aspinall. But with Tom's skill at closing distance, working the clinch, and taking opponents to the ground, the real question is whether Gane can keep him at bay for the full 5 rounds. This is where opinions in the MMA community diverge. Some feel Gane's movement and footwork might allow him to frustrate Tom early, possibly even land a big strike in the opening moments. Others argue that once Aspinall settles into his timing and rhythm, the momentum will swing decisively in his favor.
Well, we asked about, well, there's basically a few options, isn't there, really, at the moment. There's like Gane, Volkov, or Almeida, really.
Right.
That's who was available at the time that the match was made. So I said, I'll fight any of them. Don't worry about that. I said, what about Volkov? They said, well, Volkov's coming off a loss. I said, what about Almeida? They said, well, Almeida's got a bit more to do in terms of ranked opponents to fight. I said, what about Gan? They said, well, he's basically the only one. So I said, sweet. Mate, I've said from the beginning, I am not in the realm of judging fights at all. Excuse me. I'm here to fight everybody and anybody and try my best. And that's it. That's it, man. I'm here to do work, to fight people, and while I'm involved in the sport, that's what I want to do. Is I want to fight everybody and anybody that I possibly can.
Well, I love this because there's a history between the two of you. You guys have sort of been circling each other, and you referenced this in your video when the announcement was made. You said, we've had, I think you said 4 opportunities to fight each other. This is his 3rd crack at a belt. I'm going to make sure this is his last time ever fighting for a UFC heavyweight title. You said that, right?
That's what I said. Yeah, yes. That's correct.
Yes. And then I had his head coach, Fernan Lopez, on the program. And, it was all going kind of well. And then it started to get a little spicy on his part, where he said that your talk has been annoying, that you've been whining, that it's not true, that you guys weren't in talks to fight, 3-4 times in the past. Did you see any of these comments, and did you have any sort of response to them?
Well, somebody told me about them. I didn't see them. I'm trying to. I try and stay off social media when I've got a fight coming up. So I'm not like reading through all the time. My response to them is, with all due respect, I respect coaches so much, especially really high level coaches. But with all due respect, like, his opinion is quite irrelevant to the situation. Like, I'm just telling the facts from what I know and my point of view. I'm not trying to get under anyone's skin or anything like that. Like, that's the reality that I lived. But irrelevant to what happened or didn't happen, like, that's in the past, and we're fighting each other now. We're fighting each other in October, so irrelevant to what anybody says, who's annoyed and who isn't annoyed, and whose feelings are hurt and whose feelings aren't hurt. We're going to fight each other and settle it regardless, so it's pretty irrelevant, with all due respect.
One thing that I thought was really interesting, and I don't know if he was trying to play mind games, but he said there's never been more pressure on anyone than the pressure that will be on you come October 25th, because of all the talk over the past year of you being the real champ and Jon Jones ducking and all that. You have to sort of validate all of this with a dominant win.
Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170 pounder. It's crazy. He's bouncing like Wonder Boy, like bouncing like this the entire fight, bouncing, throwing feints, like completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking. And I'm not exaggerating.
Ciryl Gane is a fantastic striker. I mean, he's one of the most beautiful strikers in the heavyweight division. He does wild stuff. You ever see how he throws that front kick from a side stance? And he throws it like a twisting kick. He stands like southpaw, right? And you see he bobs around like this. And he's totally sideways. And he twists his foot out. Like a twisting kick. He did a lot of them against Tai Tuivasa. He's so fast, man. He just does this weird thing where he stands sideways. And instead of the front kick going like this, like straight out, the front kick goes like this. So
I know. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So his knee when he lands is almost like sideways. It's just so unusual for a heavyweight, that kind of movement. But he'll show it totally sideways.
It's a little trick.
Almost like a crescent kicker.
With Joe Rogan and other prominent voices praising Aspinall's remarkable progress, the excitement around him keeps growing. But the drama in the heavyweight division doesn't stop there. Fans are still buzzing about Francis Ngannou, who may have left the UFC, but remains central to debates about the top fighters in the world. Meanwhile, Jon Jones remains on the sidelines, reportedly avoiding a matchup with Tom Aspinall, making him the one fight we may never see. Dana White has even admitted is hesitant to put Jones in main events, leaving Aspinall frustrated and bringing the focus back to his upcoming fight with Gane this October. Tom Aspinall's latest footage doesn't just generate hype for a single fight, it reignites the entire discussion about who truly reigns over the heavyweight division. If Aspinall dominates Gane, does that solidify his position as the fighter Jon Jones has avoided? Could he become the heavyweight fans recognize as the best, even without Ngannou in the UFC picture? This sparring clip sends a strong message. It's more than just training. It's a statement that Aspinall is performing at a level few heavyweights have ever reached. Joe Rogan has noticed it. Fans have noticed it. And now the question is clear. Can Cyril Gane respond, or will Aspinall prove definitively that this is his era of heavyweight supremacy?